Hi, today we are going to make a moon-shaped ball like this, inspired by Petosky stone. It won't be similar to this one, but the shape and the idea will be the same. Because you will take it from the beginning, step by step, until the very end. And I hope you can get inspired to maybe do your own moon-shaped ball like this. It's quite easy when you see the techniques of it. So let's do it. Yes! What we are really doing is that we are covering 2 half balls with clay, and then when they are ready, we will put the 2 halves together and then we will have the shape. Now the first thing is to decide what size are you going to make it in. This is a small size, a little bit bigger size, and we go on. I will choose this one here today. I have even bigger than this, but don't go too big in the beginning and don't go all too small, not smaller than this one. This one is the smallest one I will recommend you start with, because if it's getting too small, it can be difficult to do the work inside the ball when we are going to this. So I recommend that you are choosing a middle size in the beginning, and then you can go bigger and bigger like I have done. And say hello to Coco and Misty here, that are for my son and daughter-in-law. It's their Christmas present. They don't know, and they don't watch my videos, so I can tell you it's a secret. Keep it. That's their cats. They have 2 cats, and that's Misty and that's Coco. Hi. Meow. This is what you will need to do this artwork: clay, some sticks, something to cut the clay with, something to even it out with, a sponge to cut the clay, and this one here to roll it over the sticks with the clay in between, so you can get an even thickness of your clay. About the clay, I have chosen a black clay like this one here to do the round shaped ball. It can be white or it can be other colors. What's important, I think, is that there's a lot of grog in the clay. This one here has 25% grog, and it will stabilize the clay so it doesn't lose shape. And also I choose to do stoneware, so my firing range is up to 1250 degrees. I recommend stoneware because that's what I like to work in, but maybe you can do something else. That's up to you. And mind you, I'm not a pro in this. I'm not a potter, so I'm doing this as a hobby. So if you have more questions than I can provide you with here, then I recommend to go into some of the other channels on YouTube, where there's a lot of really nice channels who describe what kind of clay it is, how to wedge it, how to roll it out, and how to most important, how to burn it, how to, yes, all these deep questions. Go to a pro. I can provide you with how I do it, and if you have a question for that, I can answer you every time. So come on with your questions. Oh, let's go. For a ball in this size, I use around 3.5 kilo clay or 7 pounds. A little bit more if you will be sure. Then I'm going to wedge it. And it's important to wedge it well, because we want to have all the air bubbles out, and we want the clay to be soft and even and nice to work with. And that's kind of hard work. Even it's a bit hard work. Just take your time and enjoy the process. Soon you will discover that the clay is working with you. I will make like a round shape on the lump of clay and start to press it out. I go from the middle and out. Turning it around many times. And making sure the edges are going with me. I will try to go after a round shape. Then I start to roll it out. Roll and turn, roll and turn. And still going after the round shape. Also making sure the edges still are with us. Ooh, and then you can see if I haven't done it properly, there will be some air bubbles in the clay. And then I will puncture the air bubbles. And just go on. You don't want air bubbles in your clay, because that is what makes it break. Now I'm starting to use my measure sticks. I'm trying to get the clay as even as possible. Then I use this one for smoothing it out, pulling the clay from the middle and to the edges. Oh yeah, and now you will need some plastic wrap. And use the wrap to cover your bowl. Then I will wrap it into plastic. The most important thing is that the plastic covers the bowl down all over the edges. Then I take the piece of clay up and I'm going to turn it around. So we have the even side down and put it over the bowl as much in the middle as possible. And now we are going to create art like a Zen master. I'm trying to shape the clay after the bowl. And also this process takes a little while. And go from the top and down towards the edges. Softly shape the clay around the bowl. And don't do like I'm doing here. In the next part here, I use this one to cut off this excessive clay here. What I do then is I push up the tool here, and it was too far. So I can feel the edge here, and then I'm just running under the edge inside. And I keep it horizontal, not like this or not like this, so we get a clean cut underneath here. Take away the excessive clay here, and because of this film, it can be a little bit tricky for that. If you tape your film, your wrap into the inside of your ball, you won't have this problem. Then I use this one to like collect the clay here. I can feel there's some extra. Then I use the sponge with some water. And try to even out the sides of the ball. Actually, around the edges can be a bit bumpy, and that I will try to even out as good as possible. Also, I can use this one here just to go along the edges here, spinning it around. I can see something is missing here, so I take some of this extra clay I have and put it in the hole. If there's a hole, I can like repair it with some extra clay. Just run it over with this, and it's good as new. So when you have made one half, then you are doing exactly the same, so that you will get to have two half pieces, just like this. In the next step here, we are going to do the pattern on top of the ball with small stamps. I will show them a little bit closer up. These here are some of my homemade stamps that you can see here. My idea is to make a pattern that goes around, starts on the top here and go around down here on the side of the ball and continues down on the piece underneath. So you will have a stripe of pattern on all the ball here. And that is now you can use your own fantasy and imagination. There is no limits. You can create the patterns that you like. What I'm showing here is just an example. You can make your own stamps. I really thank you for watching this video, and I hope it will be inspiring for you to create your own ball like this. When I've made the top part, I will go on with the lower piece. And also remember to make your initials at the bottom, or if you have a logo, you can make it like a stamp there. Here you can see it's the bottom of the ball, and this is the top over here. So now you can start to imagine how it will turn out and how it will look like. Now we're going to put the two halves together so they become one. In this step here, it's very important that the clay is leather dry. It must be dry enough for it to keep the shape, but it has to be so wet that you can still work with it. So it's very important that you find the right time. And then I'm feeling the edges. If they are too soft, I will wait. And this one here is just, it's a little bit soft, but still I think we can do it now, so I will try. In this step here, you will need a container with sand where you can place your piece, because remember it's still a bit soft, so you don't want it to lose shape. You will also have to use something to even out the rims of the ball, and something to even out with, something to cut with. And also I use one of this metal, I don't know what you call these things, so I call it thing, and a sponge and some water. Yes, that might be it, maybe a piece of linen. Then I will use this container here with sand. I'm just putting this to the side for now. Here. And I'm already trying now to make the shape down in the sand here. Digging a little hole, a round hole, so it will stabilize my bottom piece, so it doesn't get out of shape while working with it. Like this. So I don't get sand in my clay here. Now I'm ready to put the bottom piece here, so I can work with it. So I think it can be a good idea to to wrap some linen around the ball here when it's fragile, because when I put the linen in here, then it will have more supports around the sides so it doesn't collapse for me. Then you can see the edge here is kind of uneven, so I will look at it and try to even it out. You will also be needing some slip. To even out the sides here, I will use this so it gets kind of horizontal, an even surface here. I don't want it too wet inside, because if I've wet it too much, it will be too soft. The only thing I want to get softer is the rim here, because then it's easier for the rim to stick to the other half. For working with it, I'm just cutting up the rim here. Then I'm going on with the top piece here, doing the same. When the top piece is ready, I will shift again so I have my bottom piece in the sand. Now we are ready to put the two pieces together. I have scratched up the rim and I have put some slip on it so it will stick together between the two halves. And now it's a matter of placing the upper part to the lower part so it fits properly. Remember to check all around that it fits properly. Otherwise you can still move it a little bit so you get it to fit perfectly to the lower part of the ball. Now we are going to seal the deep. I have rolled out some clay that I press into that little crack there is between the two halves so it fitted out. And then I'm doing this method that I call sewing the clay together. You can see here I take and push it up and down, and in that way I'm sewing the two halves together, and that I'm doing all the way around the ball. And the surface has become a little bumpy, and that I will even out with my sponge with some water. So I'm working with the surface of the clay for a while until I feel like that I have evened it out. And then I use this sharp metal thing to take off excessive clay on the sides. So you can see here I scrape the excessive clay off to get it more even. I will be working on the outside until I'm satisfied with the surface. Then I'm starting to repair the pattern that I had already made. It has been a little bit broken by me putting the two balls together. So now I will repair it by making new stamps on this outside of the clay so it will look nice on the outside. When I'm satisfied with the outside and think it looks nice, then we are ready for the next step, the fourth step, where we will open the ball and make it two halves again, a ball with a lid. To make a lid, you can either take a small ball on top of your ball and make a straight line after that, or you can use your imagination and just make a line that you like and a lid that you want it, like you want it to be. To cut through the clay and make the lid, you have to be careful and do it step by step. First I make the line, then I go over it again, and depending on how dry the clay is, I will run it over 3 times, maybe only 2 times if it's not that dry. So you can see here I'm still holding my cutting tool very horizontal all the way around, and then I'm really pressing opposite, so you can see I'm opening it very slowly. Now I have cut through it and I can carefully open the ball. And like you can see, the rims are quite messy right now. So I will start to even them out, first taking some of the excessive clay off the sides, holding my stick a little bit in 45 degrees, so I round it a little bit. Again using a wet sponge and my tools to clean out the rims. I will be working on that until I am satisfied with my rim, and I think it's really just a continuation of my ball. When I finish the rim both on my bottom piece and my lid, then I will go on by sewing the inside line of the ball where the two balls meet, like I did on the outside. Now I will do it on the inside. So again I roll out some clay, push it into the line, and I'm doing the sewing method to really stick the two half pieces together. When I've done that, I will again clean it out and make it really nice inside. Now it's time to work on the lid. As you can see, it's a bit flat on the upper side of the lid, and I like it to be more rounded. To do that, I hollow my hand and hold the lid in my hand where I want to make it more rounded. Then I use my tool here and push it down on this piece that is flat, and then it will quietly be more and more shaped. I don't make it too rounded. I want it to fit to the ball. And now for the exciting moment, let's see if it fits together. And oh yeah, I think it does. Really nice. And if I think there's a little bit of unevenness, I will push the sides so it will stick and fit together. Cleaning up the last of the ball, and now it's ready to get painted in white. Today we are going to make this pattern here, so it will be white inside and black in between, like this one here. And to do this, I'm using a white clay color and then scrape off and wash off in between the patterns. So let's do it. Here you can see how I am painting with white clay color on top of the pattern and on top of the whole ball. I have speeded up the video so you can see how I made it. When the whole ball is painted, I'm waiting until it has been dried up. When it's dry, it's ready to begin to scrape off the white color in between the pattern holes. And I do that very carefully. Slowly the window of pattern is taking form, like you can see here. When I scraped it off, I will take a wet sponge and again clean it in between the pattern holes. So I make a nice window of pattern. The sponge must not be too wet, because then you take the white out of the pattern holes and you want to have that to stay there. Now let it dry up slowly for 3-4 weeks. You can use plastic around it for the first 2 weeks, and then it's ready to get fried in 920 degrees. Now get ready for the last step. I am using a ball that already has been disc fried. This ball here is made in the exact same way as the video is showing. just to shorten the process, I have shortened it out so I didn't have to wait for the other one to dry up in 4 weeks time. So we are continuing with this ball here that I'm starting to glaze. I'm making sure that the glaze is compatible with my clay, so it can be burned up to 1220 degrees. This ball here I like to be kind of white, like some moon colors, and also I will put some yellowish colors in the middle, so we have both a little bit of the sun and the moon in this, and also this really nice pattern that we made with the stamps. And again, it's up to you, your fantasy and imagination, what colors you like. And you can use your favorite colors to your ball and make it very unique for yourself. I'm just again showing an example how to do it. Then it's up to you to explore in your own travel of the arts. In the pattern stripe where I have used the stamps, I like it to be black and white. And to make it really clear black and white, I am using a transparent glaze that is totally clear, so it just looks like it's water that has been put on. And in this ball here I will use the same clear transparent glaze inside the ball, so it will be nature colored just like it's wet. So get ready for the result of this ball here, so you can be inspired to make your own. Lean back and enjoy the following moment.